Gentlemen and Pokemon fans of the world, Crasher Chase is back with yet another Pokemon X and Y analysis, and this one is going to be featuring the new Psychic Pokemon introduced into this generation, known as Meowstic. So before I get into things like its typing, abilities, and stats, I want you to take a look. It has two different forms. The one that is mostly blue is the male, while the female one is mostly white. And with that, it has different abilities and different moves that each form can learn. So with that, let's move on to its typing abilities and stats. So with Meowstic, like I said, its typing is that of Psychic, which is pretty alright. However, you are weak to Dark, Ghost, and Bug, and you have the potential of being Pursuit Trapped, so please keep that in mind. As for the abilities, it gets Keen Eye, which prevents accuracy loss and also negates any evasion boosts from your opponents, which is actually pretty nice. However, I do believe that the evasion clause for Wi-Fi battling is still in effect. So, it's good, but at the same time, it's kind of not that good in comparison to its other abilities, and the second one being Infiltrator. And what this does is it bypasses the effects of Light Screen, Reflect, Safeguard, and you can even hit your opponents when they're behind a substitute. So they're pretty much wasting 25% of their HP just for you to hit through their substitute and cause them even more damage. Now, as for their hidden abilities, for the male, hence why I put M in brackets, it gets Prankster, which is an incredible ability. And for the female, in brackets, F, it gets Competitive, which is basically like the special variant of Defiant. And what this is it basically increases your special attack by one stage for every time you have a stat lowered. So if your opponent was to use something like Growl or Screech or something like that, Screech in this case, which decreases your physical defense by two stages, will increase your special attack by two stages. So that's actually really good. Now, to note, before I get into the stats, the male version of Meowstic is more of a supportive variant, while the female version of Meowstic is more of the offensive variant. Now, as for its stats, it has 74 HP, 48 attack, 76 defense, 83 special attack, 81 special defense, and 104 speed. So as we're seeing right here, its speed is the stat that is the one to pay close attention to. And its defenses are alright. I mean, its HP is a little bit below average. Its physical defense is something to be desired, and its special defense isn't that bad, but it's still something to be desired. Base 83 special attack is excellent in comparison to its really crappy base 48 physical attack. So we're not even going to go there on what kind of moves it can learn physically. It's pointless to use a physical variant of a Meowstic. So with that all out of the way, I'm going to be going over some sets for you. So for this set here, this is going to focus on the male Meowstic. The nature we're going to be giving it is a bold nature to increase its defense and lower its attack. The ability is going to be Prankster, which gives you a +1 priority in all non-attacking moves, and I don't think I went over that ability in the previous slide, so I do apologize for that. The item for choice is going to be Light Clay, which increases the duration of your screens that are on the field, which is actually very good. As for the EV spread, we have 252 HP EVs, 128 defense and 128 special defense, giving you some pretty good mixed bulk, and it will make you harder to be taken down on both the physical and special side. As for the move set, we have Reflect and Light Screen, and that right there is the purpose of this set and the item, for they both set up screens to protect you from physical attacks and special attacks respectively. The next move that we have is known as Thunder Wave, which is, again, a non-attacking move, and it cripples your opponent. So this could be a very good way to cripple the likes of Scarfers or really fast and frail sweepers. And the last move that we have is known as Psychic, so you're not entirely taunt bait or basically rendered useless offensively. It hits hard, and it has a chance to lower your opponent's special defense by one stage. Now, some moves to consider, and this is to use over Thunderwave. You can use the likes of Toxic to whittle down your opponents, and the damage increases after every turn. The next move is Yawn, which is a two-turn move that basically makes your opponent fall asleep. So this could put them in a rather precarious position as to whether or not they should switch or let the Pokemon fall asleep. The next move for choice is known as Charm, which is a bit of an odd move, but it's actually really good, considering that it lowers your opponent's physical attack by two stages. So you get a few charms off, and your opponent's not going to be leaving that much of a scratch on you after that, and they might even switch out, thus giving you an advantage. The next move to consider is known as Safeguard, and it's a 5-turn move that protects your entire team from the likes of status moves, which can be good, especially in doubles battles. And the last move to consider is known as Swagger, which increases your opponent's physical attack by 2 stages but confuses them. And the reason I consider this an option as well is because I've seen a Wi-Fi battle featuring a male Meowstic and a Kangaskhan, and what had happened was the Meowstic went for Safeguard and then went swaggered the Kangaskhan, and oh my god, the Kangaskhan just completely was ready to wreck. So consider a set like that in doubles or even triples battles. So that's all for the male Meowstic. I'm going to do a set on the female Meowstic, so stay tuned. So with this next set here is for the female Meowstic. The nature we're going to be giving it is a timid nature to maximize its speed, making it as fast as possible. And the ability for choice, you can either go with Infiltrator to bypass screens and substitutes, or you can go with Competitive in case one of your stats gets lowered and you want that special attack boost. The item for choice, we have a few choices here. You can either go with Leftovers to increase survivability, Life Orb to increase damage output and having freedom to switch between moves. However, it's going to cost you some HP and put you at a pretty grave risk of going down quickly. The other choice for items, you can either go with Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. Choice Specs to lock you into a move and increase your special attack, while Choice Scarf increases your speed and locks you into a move. The EV spread, 4 are going to go into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. Now, as for the move set, we have Hidden Power Fire to deal with steel types. We have Psychic as its good stab, Thunderbolt to nail the likes of water and flying types, and Signal Beam to counter those that are dark type and whichever is weak to bug. So overall, this set here, it has pretty decent coverage, like a pretty wide variety actually. Now, as for some moves to consider, we have Energy Ball as a way to hit bulky water, ground, and rock types. We have Shadow Ball to counter ghost types and also other psychic types. We have Hidden Power Fighting, and if you want to choose Hidden Power Fighting over Hidden Power Fire, I would recommend throwing in Shadow Ball too. That way you have flawless coverage. And the last move to consider is Calm Mind. And I just want to say, don't be a dummy and throw a choiced item on a Calm Mind set, because it would not do you any good to Calm Mind while you're holding a choiced item. So if you're going to be going with Calm Mind, either go with Leftovers or Life Orb. That's the way to go there. So that's it for the offensive set for female Meowstic. I got another set for you, so stay tuned. So with this next move set here, it's actually going to be kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. The first set is going to revolve mostly around the female Meowstic, although the male one can use this set too, barring a certain move, that being Signal Beam. while the second set revolves solely around the male. So try to follow this. The nature we're going to be giving it is a timid nature to increase its speed and lower its attack. The ability is going to be Infiltrator, which is an ability that both male and female can use. The item for choice is going to be Leftovers. The EV spread, 252 are going into HP, 4 into special attack, and 252 into speed. The moveset I have here is the Calm Mind Substitute combination, and it works fairly decent in combination with Leftovers. You Calm Mind, and it increases your special attack and special defense by 1 stage. Then you hide behind a substitute, making you thus harder to take down on the special side. Or if you know that your opponent's not going to attack you the first turn, you can set up a substitute and hide behind it safely, and then proceed to boost yourself with Calm Minds. The offensive moves, we have Psychic and Hidden Power Fire to hit Steel types, which resists Psychic type moves. Do note that you are walled by the likes of Flash Fire Houndoom, although I don't know why you would leave a Meowstic in to die against the likes of Houndoom. That just wouldn't be very productive. Moves to consider. We have quite a few here. We have Shadow Ball to deal with other Psychic type Pokemon and Ghost types. We have Hidden Power Fighting to deal with Dark types and Steel types, which can cause Meowstic some pretty big problems. We have Signal Beam to nail the likes of Dark types and other Psychic type Pokemon. And we also have the likes of Psych Up, which is a move that I want to make note of. You can use it over the likes of Calm Mind if you want to, because if you switch in on a Pokemon who has accumulated some really, really large boosts in the likes of its special attack, special defense, and or speed, then Psych Up would be the way to go, and that basically copies whatever uh, stat modifiers your opponent has, so that can play some pretty good mind games. And then we have Thunderbolt to deal with bulky water and flying type Pokemon, and Energy Ball to deal with bulky water, ground, and rock types. Now, as for the alternative set, this is revolving strictly around the male Meowstic. The nature we're going to be giving it is a bold nature to increase its physical defense and lower its attack. The ability is going to be Prankster. Um, as for the item is going to be Leftovers once again. The EV spread, 252 are going to go into HP, 252 into defense, and 4 into speed. As for the move set, we have basically the same move set as the female Meowstic with the sub Calm Mind combo, along with Psychic and Hidden Power Fire. The moves to consider, again, barring Signal Beam, it's pretty much the same thing. We have Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, Energy Ball, Hidden Power Fighting, and Psych Up. Now, Psych Up deserves a special mention in this situation because it's a non-attacking move, so it would therefore be priority. So if you were to switch in on a Pokemon, again, who has accumulated some really decent boosts in whatever stats, especially in the special side, then Psych Up can be a really good move to use, and you would basically just wipe the mat with your newly acquired boosts and proceed to just sweep and rip face. So that's actually all I have for this set and for Meowsticks in terms of set ideas, but I do have one more slide, so please stay tuned. So this is what I like to call special mentions, and this is the very first time that I've ever included this in one of my analysis videos. Why I'm including it is basically if your Pokemon has a really awesome ability that can basically abuse it with certain moves, and in this situation being Prankster, then I would like to make some special mentions to shed some light and thus give further ideas for all those who are watching. Now, as for the male Meowstic, it can use Trick on any set, offensive or defensive, if you want, and since it has priority, it can cripple an opponent with a choiced item, thus making a wall not so useful anymore. So, if it's going to be a defensive set, I'd recommend tricking your opponent first. That way, after that, you will have freedom of setting up defensively if you want, but offensively is better because after you trick your choice item, you can just proceed to attack. But I thought I'd throw those two options in there. Now, Rest and Sleep Talk are both non-attacking moves, which gets the Prankster boost. So if you use this in combination with two offensive moves, while you are asleep, everything will have +1 priority if you use Sleep Talk. So I think that is pretty cool, and that's worth having a special mention. And I just gotta say that Meowstic just might be quite the fearsome little kitty cat in competitive battling. So that is pretty much all I gotta say about Meowstic in general. I hope you enjoy this video. Be sure to leave a comment, rate, subscribe, and I shall see you next upload. Crasher Chase is signing off. Peace.